Hey everyone, it's Latifa, your DeNight Owl. Welcome back to Dear Future Husband Season 1 on waiting, healing, and harmony. Today's episode is about a simple but hard truth. I am no longer dealing with one-sided relationships. I need to be met halfway. When I wrote these words, I had two things in mind: the situation I had just walked away from, and the relationships I'd been silently carrying for years. Not just romantic ones, but friendships, family, classmates, all of it. I was tired. Tired of being the one who always reached out, planned the hangouts, checked in first. In so many of my non-romantic relationships, I was the one who cared most, but no one ever seemed to check in on me. The only time my phone buzzed was when someone wanted something. Not to ask, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you really doing?" I realized I had placed people on pedestals they never asked to stand on. I was expecting others to love and show up the way I did. But that was my expectation, not the way that they operated. So I had to learn to accept people exactly as they presented themselves. No more, no less. Maybe some were just bad at texting. Maybe it was easier for them to connect face to face, where conversations flowed like no time has passed. But still, it hurt. And underneath that hurt was a complicated truth. I had a very personal definition of friendship. Not everyone saw me as close. Some saw me as an acquaintance, a familiar face from school, church, or even family circles. But for me, connection meant something deeper. Maybe it's tied to my accident and my memory loss. Because I lost parts of my past, I paid closer attention to what I could remember. The people, the moments, the conversations that mattered. So when someone left even a small impression, I held it tightly. That's just how my heart worked. This quote, "I need to be met halfway," wasn't just a rule for others. It was a boundary for myself. It was my way of saying, protect your heart, Natifa. Lower your expectations and love wisely. It meant learning not to overgive, not to pour into cups that never pour back. And that boundary stretched into my romantic life too. Almost every relationship I had came out of circumstance. We were already talking casually, and it just became something. Sometimes I even made the first move. Looking back, I used to wonder if that made me look desperate, especially when we were friends from church or school. But really, I was just hoping someone would meet me where I stood, halfway. Then came the wake-up call, that situationship, the one that left the deepest mark. I poured so much of myself into it, even though deep down, I knew it wouldn't go anywhere. It wasn't built on commitment, just comfort. And when it ended, it hurt the most because I had ignored the signs. That's when I wrote another line alongside my feature quote. "So please don't come and waste my time. Please know what you want, especially who you want." That one was written straight from that experience. He had feelings for me, but didn't want anything serious. He enjoyed my attention, my company, but wasn't ready to match my intention. And I let it continue because I didn't want to believe his words, even though he told me exactly what he wanted. Writing that letter became my turning point. It woke me up. I realized I was done being anyone's second option, and I meant it this time. From that moment on, I held myself accountable to the words I wrote. I stopped entertaining confusion. I stopped explaining my worth. And not long after that, I met my fiancé. He doesn't hesitate. He didn't make me guess. He courted me with clarity. He knew what he wanted and who he wanted, and he showed it. And ever since, God has been blessing our union. So, to my dear future husband, and to anyone listening, meeting halfway isn't just about keeping score. It's about mutual effort. It's about both hearts moving towards each other, equally invested, equally seen. And to the version of me who once overgave, thank you for loving deeply. Now you can rest in being loved equally. Until next time, this is your DeNight Owl reminding you, don't shrink yourself to be loved halfway. I invite you to follow DeNight Owl Speaks on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Substack for more reflections from Dear Future Husband series. Thank you.